November 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
Well, I remember that the flash on the radio that we had been attacked by the Japanese and bombed over in Pearl Harbor. Of course, I mean, we didn't have any pictures of it or anything like that. I guess I enlisted. I could have gotten, I was working for I guess I enlisted the Navy.
Was there a reason why you chose the Navy?
Well, sort of. I've often saw these doughboys from the First World War slugging through the mud and everything, and I didn't like that. So I figured, hey, the Navy, at least I'd have a place to sleep at night, maybe a warm bed.
Where did you do your basic training?
Sampson.
Sampson?
I can remember one time we went out for calisthenics in the morning, and the officer came walking down the aisle or down the line looking at us. He looked at me and he says, "Aren't you going to get that peach fuzz off your face?" I had a shave paid for it. One time they were very strict about it, and I had left a couple of strings. We used strings to tie our clothes to the clothesline, and I forgot to put a couple of strings on my end of my bunk, and I had to scrub the barracks floor on my hands and knees for disciplinary action.
Oh, gosh.
A training ship. It was an LCT, landing craft tank.
Right.
And we trained on Chesapeake Bay. We were sent to Long Beach, Long Island. And there we had anti-aircraft training with guns, 20 millimeter. And we shot at flying targets. That is, they were towing these targets, and we were shooting at those. From there, we got shipped over to England.
Do you remember the ship you were on?
Aquitania.
Aquitania?
And oh man, what a ride. It was in December. The water was rough, and we up and down. And of course, we weren't in a convoy. This was alone. We were susceptible to submarines, but fortunately we never saw any submarines. Seems like all they served was mutton, and I do not like mutton.
Yeah.
I haven't liked it for years. I tried it once years ago when I was a kid, and I didn't like it.
Where did you land there?
Plymouth, England.
Do you get a sense that you were there in England in preparation for D-Day?
Well, we were in preparation for something, but we didn't know what, for sure. There was a lot of talk about it, but as I say, we never really knew what it was all about. And we practiced, with these tanks, and we'd take them on, and we'd go out and then come back in and land them on the beach. And then all of a sudden, they had these long ramps built, and they welded them onto the gate that opened up in front, and told us we were going to be carrying Sherman tanks. And we couldn't quite figure out, but then when we got the tanks on, we could figure it out. They were the inflatable, big rubberized things around it. I couldn't, and then they were special tanks. They had propellers on them,
Okay, so the tanks have propellers.
Huh?
So the tanks themselves have
Yeah.
propellers,
Yeah.
so they could drop off in the water.
Right. There was a whole lot of ships in there. And we knew that something was coming up. We didn't know when, but all of a sudden, the night before, we got the word, "You're going. We're going across the channel."
How did you feel? You got the word, the official, long-anticipated word that you were going. What was the sense among the troops? What was the feeling?
I think there was a bit of excitement, but we didn't really know what to expect. I mean, we were all young. We know we were heading for France, and that's all we do.
What was your assignment on the LCT?
Well, I was assistant gunner's mate. We all participated in everything that needed to be done. There was sometimes the wheelman, sometimes on the throttles.
Sophie, you are looking at an absolutely unique vessel, 7074. It was one of 800 or so tank landing craft built for the Normandy campaign, and this one is the only one left that took part in D-Day anywhere in the world. And really, tank landing craft were the unsung war horses of the Normandy campaign, and without them, D-Day would simply not have been possible.
200 feet long and made of steel, they had a flat keel, which meant they could beach themselves and deliver heavy equipment right to the front line.
The next morning, you're on the LCT and you're heading out from England towards France.
Yeah.
Describe the scene.
Well, there was so many boats that you couldn't, I couldn't imagine the number of boats that you'd see like floating, coming, like sailing across the channel.
Do you know which beach did you land on?
Omaha.
Omaha?
Yeah. Going down, of course, there was, I don't know how many ships or LCTs that had tanks on them, but, and I have no idea how many of them made it ashore. Some of them did, I know that. I saw them.
Yeah.
Because afterwards, we went back and we loaded up mechanized troops, jeeps, guns, no matter what, and took them into the beach. Well, we hit the beach.
Yeah.
And dropped off the troops and the mechanized stuff, whatever it was, jeeps, trucks, then backed off and went back to get another load.
Did your LCT get attacked? Were you being hit?
No, we never got hit. We thought we were going to get hit. There was, you could see the shells landing in the water, and they were coming closer and closer. One of them right off the fantail. And the next one would have hit us midship. It never came.
Wow.
Whatever happened, we don't know. Nobody knows.
When you were dropping off the troops, especially, were they meeting fire at the time? So when you dropped them off,
Yeah.
what was your sense? How did you feel kind of watching this? I mean, your job is to come on the beach, drop them off, and get back, but you're seeing what's going on.
Yeah. I don't know. It just, well, we all had things to do. I mean, we had the guns to take care of, the 20 millimeter and everything. Young and sort of excited and yet a little bit scared. Well, probably the first day we probably took about 3 trips back in because there was other ships that we had to stand by waiting for to get loaded. Others were getting loaded too. And then after a couple of days, while we were carrying food stuff, ammunition and stuff into the beach that had to be unloaded after the beach was secured.
Did you get a sense how the war was going, how the landing was going? You know, you're going back and forth and doing your job, but did you get a sense of it was?
Well, we didn't know, but we knew that we were losing an awful lot of people because you could see bodies all over the beach.
What's that do for the morale of the troops?
Well, I don't know. I mean, we were so busy that you didn't have much time to think about it.
Think about it, yeah. Yeah.
We were probably doing that for a couple of weeks.
Ah.
We got to the point where we'd pull up to the beach and we would have to sit there till because the tide would go out, and we had all of this stuff, food stuff, or ammunition, or whatever we would happen to put on, and I had to wait for them to cart it off. After the beach was secured, we were stuck on the beach. We couldn't do anything.
Right.
We could get off, and we wandered around a bit.
What did you see when you were wandering around Omaha Beach?
A lot of damaged ships and equipment. And we even climbed up the hill and looked at one of the pillboxes where they had a 88 set up in there, but of course that was all blown to pieces. They had taken that out. But that hillside was all full of tunnels, and there were living quarters in it. I was amazed. I got papers to ship back to the States. So I went back to the ships on a transport. I got papers from them there to report to this ship. It was a big ocean-going tug.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, that's what I'm going to do. Only I got shipped down to Bermuda.
And now Bermuda, proving there is some truth to that part about seeing the world. DE 677 is assigned its anchorage. The hook is dropped and the jack tube locked. But the shakedown still has 4 weeks to go. During that time, there'll be special instructions and drills ashore and battle practice outside the harbor.
And then I worked in the armory down there. Of course, we had naval air station and a naval regular Navy station too for the armory, and we had they had a ammunition dump there that we had to guard. I spent probably a year there. Papers to go back to the States for discharge. Discharged February of '46. After a while, it was down there. They wanted to cut down on the people in the armory. I wound up going to do the recreation department, showing movies. And I used to, well, they had 3 theaters, in the inside theater, outdoor theater, and then the officers club had a theater.
Yeah.
And I used to go play. We took turns to go show movies in each place.
Mm-hmm.
I used to like going to the officers club because I knew a couple of the officers that always brought me a drink in.
Well, you go, fantastic.
Well, I don't know. I participated in World War II, and I did my job, and thank God that I was able to get out of there without any scratches or injuries or anything. And I've been very healthy ever since.